What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Today we're getting into the expectations of USC basketball, plus the status update on Bronny James after a health scare earlier this year. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you want merch to support the boys, like a cool hoodie like this, we've got a bunch of other stuff too, all affordable, all comfortable. You can hit the shop. That is totempolenation.com. It's going down below in the ticker. Without further ado, let's get into it.
All right. Well, Bronny James did suffer a health scare earlier this year, which was happening in July. LeBron is dedicating his 21st season, obviously, to his son because luckily bad things didn't happen. Luckily, God was able to bless Bronny and bless him with a new direction of life. Now, having a heart failure in basketball practice is very, very scary under high conditions, circumstances. But his checkup for Bronny will be within the end of the month. Everything's in progress, and they're not going to rush this because, it's somebody's heart. And there's been plenty of players in the past that probably we hadn't mentioned, not just on this show, but on other platforms as well, that have, collapsed during football practice, collapsed during basketball practice. And it's just not one of those things that you want to hear. Bronny James was courtside when they beat Kansas State on Monday night. I think they beat them, obviously, which they did 82-69. He's watching from the bench as well. The physical therapy stuff, he's been doing a great job. Bronny, not just Bronny, but also he was a recruit in the 2023 class, joining the number one recruiting class with Isaiah Collier. And USC is also projected in the Pac-12 to make the NCAA tournament this season. So with those two guys, Isaiah Collier and Bronny James, I think that would be very, very dangerous. We'll just have to see how USC is going forward, which I think they'll do some stuff. But we'll have to wait and see when it comes to the conference play in March and what happens in March Madness, because, like I said, March Madness is one of the greatest things of all time. Like I said, it's one game and you're done. It just makes it exciting because a lot of upsets can happen. What is the expectations of USC basketball and, Bronny James having that name? He wants to write his own story, play in college, and LeBron and play in college. But what's the story of Bronny James this season? And I know it's going to be high expectations. I mean, it's high expectations when he was at Sierra Canyon. There's going to be high expectations in USC. You carrying that James name.
Yeah, for sure. So luckily for USC, this is a team led by seniors that are returning, seniors and juniors, I should say. Boogie Ellis is their starting point guard, put up 24 in this past game, also led the team in rebounds with 8. He's, that's the leader of their team. He played 36 minutes. And, besides, like you mentioned, Isaiah, who was a top recruit in the country, number 2 in the country last year, that's really the only freshman that's going to get major minutes this year, I think. Even when Bronny comes back, he'll get worked in, I think, around like 20 minutes per game type thing, whereas Isaiah is probably going to be between 25 and 30. Boogie's going to be 30 plus. So is Johnson as well. He's another guard. Kobe Johnson, he's a junior from Milwaukee, 6'6". He's, produced for multiple years for this team. So, luckily for them, this isn't a team that needed to rely on the draft class, the recruiting class, even though it was good. Isaiah, like I said, 2nd in the country. Bronny was 28th. Arrington Page, 57th. So they have guys that could go in pretty early, as with, Isaiah, and then Bronny if he wasn't dealing with his medical stuff. But the other 2 guys in that recruiting class are not players that would be, seeing minutes this year anyways. So I think obviously nothing about this is fortunate, but lucky for them that they are a team that wasn't going to be relying on the youth of this recruiting class. They're starting 3 upperclassmen.
Well, I do agree with that. We'll see how USC does play. Like I said, it's going to be more. It's hype right now, but once Bronny comes back, it's going to be more hype surrounding that team, and just kind of like what Colorado's been through for a couple weeks. With Prime Time and Shador coming from an HBCU, and Shiloh and Travis Hunter all coming from Jackson State. That hype, in college basketball is good. It's going to come around when he comes back in December, January. So don't be surprised if USC basketball um, is maybe I wouldn't say talked about more than Duke, but probably about the same once Bronny comes back. And don't be surprised if USC basketball is better than their football team, because I mean their football team ain't really that great right now. So just don't be surprised. But like I said, I wish Bronny the best. I think Bronny's going to do great. He's going to be a great contribution to USC basketball. And like I said, with some of these football schools, they're now getting better at basketball, and these are one of these schools that are getting better. So that's a great and exciting thing. Now, next in Lambo and Matt's World Sports, Virginia Tech. All right, the expectations of Virginia Tech basketball. We're going into the women's and the men's. The women's team went into the Final Four last year. They won 30 games. They lost to LSU. LSU, by the way, I think lost to Colorado. So, and then James Madison beat Michigan State. So, very, very early upsets. But expectations on Virginia Tech basketball, which will be next in the next 5 minutes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Total Pole Nation, Lambo, and Matt's World of Sports. If you need the merch, go to TotalPoleNation.com. All right. We'll catch you in the next 5 minutes for expectations and preview of Virginia Tech women's and men's basketball. Peace out. Adios. Y'all have a great night and take care of yourselves.